Water, like the air we breathe, is taken for granted. While India houses nearly 18% of the world's population, her vast geographic expanse holds only 4% of freshwater resources. And in deeply spiritual India, water has religious, cultural and social meanings and real economic value. While it is known that agriculture will account for the most of the demand, the magnitude of the gap between demand and supply vary based on assumptions and projections. Uneven and unpredictable rainfall worsens an already bad storage problem. This issue can have cascading effects on society, impacting on food security, inequitable access to water resources, and higher food prices, contributing to a breakdown of social structure in some extreme cases. There are several programs already attempting to tackle efficient use of water, but there is an urgent need to build on this. Any chance of success needs the collective action of all stakeholders. This is where the Hindustan Unilever Foundation comes in. Set up in 2010, the HUF, a founding member of the Alliance for Water Stewardship, envisions making a tangible impact on the water situation in India by facilitating communities and NGOs with their efforts, supporting pilot programs that explore alternate solutions and enabling education initiatives needed for systemic changes.
Water is a critical and irreplaceable element and a system within the ecological integrity issues. We work on restoring degraded ecosystems, and one of the first things that we start seeing is around bringing back water, recharge of groundwater, more of surface flows, more availability of water for a longer period of time. That's one of the things which is being supported clearly with this initiative.
The foundation deploys collaborative strategies to find appropriate solutions.
HUF-funded project is largely threefold: to develop a process and a system whereby NREGA funds are used to create durable assets for rural communities using a watershed-based approach, to spread water literacy and to teach people how to use available water resources more productively, to get more output per drop of water, to provide farmers with real-time weather data and information as well as crop advisories so that they can better manage their crops as well as mitigate the impacts of climate variability and extreme weather events that they are often subjected to.
Working with multiple funders, knowledge partners, complex and diverse working relationships, and developing innovative ways to actively address the water conundrum.
With Hindustan Unilever Foundation, one of the largest projects around water efficiency and sustainable agriculture program.
In over 25 districts spread across the Ganga Basin, HUF supports good agriculture practices such as furrow and drip irrigation, mechanized trench planting, trash mulching, intercropping in sugarcane, and ecological sustainable pest management.
What we have done here is not only looking at the amount of water that is going to be reduced by utilizing the drip irrigation, but also what are the parameters that we need to follow on the field to reduce the evapotranspiration losses so that the total amount of water technically will be reduced.
Education forms a big part of our plan and our education programs, which are being developed in collaboration with research organizations, experts, and academia. Help farmers effectively manage their water.
The நிகழ்ச்சியை பார்த்ததுலேருந்து கரும்பு விவசாயம் செய்யறதுக்கு ஒரு ஆர்வம் தனி ஆர்வம். எப்படி நடவு செய்யறது, எப்படி நடவு செஞ்சா எவ்வளவு மகசூல் வரும் அப்படின்றதெல்லாம் காட்டணும்.
A national advisory committee has been set up to guide and advise us.
Actually, initially, when I was asked to become a member of the National Advisory Committee, I had my doubts. I said this must be a CSR exercise, so they want respectability. But on joining this, I find that is not the case. You are actually doing valuable work, far more than in a formal CSR responsibility. And I think it can go further, and you've chosen excellent partners.
I think what the Hindustan Unilever Foundation is attempting is something quite remarkable, because the way they have selected their partners and the work that these partners are doing on water is setting an example for the whole country.
We at Grant Thornton in India were delighted to be associated with the Hindustan Unilever Foundation's Water for Public Good project. Our role was to provide assurance on the KPIs established by the HUF Foundation on how it was going to evaluate the impact. We conducted more than 2,000 hours of work, and we're delighted to see the tangible and intangible benefits that were coming out of these projects. At Grant Thornton, we were also delighted to note that the HUF Foundation was the first organization that went through the SROI assessment.
Automated weather stations are being geared to generate advisories based on specific crops and farm condition in over 75 villages. Wealth ranking analysis ensures that the poorest of the poor are also actively involved in the decision-making process. We are also working to effect a deeper change in behavioral patterns by conducting experimental games to understand the impact of actions on any resource and on the community. The collective efforts of HUF and its partners are already beginning to bear fruit. Farmers are planting second crop in areas previously considered difficult to cultivate. Other areas are seeing a marked increase in output.
आप में अनोखा है क्योंकि हम लोगों ने करीब 70 to 75 प्रोजेक्ट इम्प्लीमेंट किए हैं इन 30 इयर्स, और किसी ने भी मतलब डायरेक्ट पानी बचाने के लिए मेरे साथ काम नहीं किया, इनडायरेक्ट किया है, लेकिन डायरेक्ट पानी को बचाना है या पानी को मैनेजमेंट करना है, कम्युनिटी को एंगेज करना है, दिस इज फर्स्ट प्रोजेक्ट फॉर आवर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन.
Our practices and techniques are spread over thousands of hectares across India, arresting soil erosion, reducing the cost of irrigation, and contributing to the sustained stability of water resource management.
இந்த வயலக திட்டத்தின் மூலமாக இந்த கம்மாயை சீரமைச்சு கொடுத்து நல்லா ஆழப்படுத்தி கொடுத்து பண்ணக்குட்டை வெட்டி கொடுத்து இந்த ஓடைகள் வரத்து ஓடைகளை சீரமைச்ச காரணத்தினால தான் இந்த வருஷம் 15 வருஷத்துக்கு பிறகு நான் வந்து எங்கள் அப்பா அம்மா காலத்தில் தெய்வத்தை பார்த்தது மாதிரி இந்த வருஷ காலத்தில் நெல் ஒரு ராஜா நெல் என்பது ஒரு ராஜா, அந்த ராஜாவை பார்த்து இந்த 15 வருஷத்துக்கு பிறகு இந்த வருஷம் எனக்கு 2 வருஷத்துக்கு சாப்பாட்டுக்கு போதுமான நெல் 20 மூடை நெல் எடுத்திருக்கோம்.
The programs have also affected the communities around which they are developed. Agriculture-related employment opportunities continue to be created every day across our project areas. Increased food security has led to farmers investing better in their health, furthering their education and increasing the quality of life.
With HUF, we have been able to reach nearly about 18,000 families. Most of them are small and marginal farmers as well as landless. In this project, we were able to augment nearly about 44 million cubic meter of water, augmenting water storage in a traditional water for benefiting the bottom of the pyramid people.
HUF and its partner began with the goal of achieving a cumulative water potential of 100 billion litres of water by 2020. But we have already met this goal. We are now being more ambitious and targeting the conservation of 500 billion litres in the same period.
A lot of work in India has happened around the concept of watershed development, and that is all for the good. But there are many innovations that we require in the watershed approach, which I think each of the partners need to seriously consider.
Through the village institutions, they will give lessons both for the irrigation department as well as the rural development department that you need to see water resources in an integrated fashion. There are artificial boundaries of surface water and groundwater, rain-fed and irrigated. But in actual, the farmer uses both. The irrigated he does from groundwater as well as surface irrigation. And therefore, through this approach, we are trying to look at the supply side as well as the demand side through promotion of drips and sprinklers, through composting, etc. This will help to look at this whole process of integrated water resource management, not only in the context of water, but also agriculture development.
We have only just begun, and despite our achievements so far, there is a lot more to be done. Water management is a critical idea that needs to be nurtured at all costs. This can only be done with the collective and collaborative efforts of all stakeholders involved. Every step is important, and every droplet saved leads to a sea of change.